Hi and welcome to Tutorial U, which at the last minute I've retitled from just Untitled to Unanimously Untitled. I guess it has this untitled name because it's just bits and pieces. We're approaching the end, so everything that I have didn't fit in up until now, and just bits of revision of things we've done along the way is getting squeezed into these last few tutorials. So welcome. What are these things called again? A, an, and the. Articles. The definite article the indefinite articles a and an. And which ones would we fit in here? I live in a big city could be, and big city doesn't work. I guess I was expecting you to say I live in the big city, but it could be a. I went to, not, it could be the dinner party, or it could just be I went to a dinner party. I'll be there in only one possible answer here. I'll be there in the hour doesn't really work, so I'll be there in an hour. He is a Italian teacher. The Italian teacher could be, or an Italian teacher, depends. Are we talking about he's just any Italian teacher, or is he the particular one we were talking about? This again could be the umbrella. Do you have the umbrella? Or it could be, do you happen to have an umbrella? So more than one answer for most of those. Provide antonyms. It doesn't tell us that we should add prefixes, so I'm just going to add the prefix un, which ends in an n, plus that word starting with an n gives us the double n in unnecessary. It's not unlegible. What is it? It's illegible. But it's not unpartial. It's impartial. You're not at an advantage, you're at a disadvantage. They're not similar, but they are dissimilar. The prefix dis ends in an s, plus similar starts in an s, gives us that double s. He's not religious, he is irreligious, with a double r. He's not polite, he is impolite. I've not heard a word such as unopaque, so I'm going to have to go for transparent, being the opposite of opaque. Premature, the opposite of that is not really mature. How about late? Premature is too early, late is late. Shameful, maybe shameless. Thorough, I had to go and look this one up, and what the source I consulted said cursory or superficial, and I'm sure I had something else in mind, but he just did a superficial cleaning, not a thorough cleaning of the house. More opposites or antonyms. Opposite of fallacy is a fact. Opposite of noble has that strange and interesting prefix ig, ignoble. Opposite of sensitive, insensitive. Opposite of literate, illiterate. Opposite of regular, irregular. Opposite of proportionate, disproportionate. Opposite of penetrable, impenetrable. Opposite of formal, informal. And I think that's enough of those. Complete the clues. A humorous poem in 5 lines. There was a young lady from China who went for a trip on a liner. While pacing the deck, she twisted her neck, and now she can see right behind her, starting with an L. A limerick. A classic poem in 14 lines made up of 3 quatrains and a rhyming couplet, or an octave and a sestet, is a sonnet. When action has been taken just in time to save the situation, we say it's been taken at the 11th hour. A person in a state of perpetual blissful happiness is said to be in a state of 7th heaven. He's in a state of 7th heaven. Complete the table. Finality, the noun. Finalize, the verb. Adjective, final. Adverb, finally. Attraction, what do you do to create attraction? you attract. What sort of a girl was she? She was attractive. And how did she walk? How did she blink her eyes? Attractively. What we're doing is educating someone. We're giving them education. So what sort of a person was he if he had education? He was educated. And how did she speak? Educated, educationally. I don't know why we have this gap there, but for productive, someone's being productive, they are showing productivity is the noun. What did they do? They produced. And then what sort of person were they? They were productive. And then this adverb is not cooperating. The adverb would be productively. They worked productively. And then mysteriously is in the wrong place. Well, let's just go. Mysteriously is the adverb. So what's the noun going to be? Mystery. What's the verb going to be? What did you do to someone? You mystified them. Mystify. And then the adjective, what sort of a person was she? She was mysterious. And then she danced mysteriously. Combine the following sentences. The driver reported the accident. The accident happened near the supermarket. The driver reported the accident that happened near the supermarket. That's easy. On holiday, we woke up and then breakfast was served. That's easy. The nurse said something about vitamins. It was important. The nurse said something important about vitamins. We are going out to dinner. Charles told me that we were going out to dinner. Charles told me that we were going out to dinner. Those were very easy. Provide the correct form of the word in brackets. The headmistress is a what kind of a person? She's not communicate, she's communicative. I saw a TV documentary on the diet of wild monkeys. The writer supplied some illustrations to enhance the new novel. Complete the idioms. We've done lots of idioms in these tutorials. A feather in one's, we've done this before, it's an achievement. A feather in one's cap. He can't quite decide between one thing and the other. He's a fence sitter. He just doesn't fit in that environment. He's a fish out of water. It was just a once off. You're not going to see that happening again. It was a flash in the what? A flash in the pan, wherever that comes from. It was a false clue. The fact that he was actually a psychologist had nothing to do with it. It was a false clue or a red herring. It's a very important day. It is a red what day? A red letter day. It was a whole lot of fuss made about nothing. It was just a storm in a teacup. Once every now and again is once in a blue moon. I don't think we've done this one before. To feel resentful about something and then let it show in your behaviors. Sour grapes. She's being so sour grapes about that. To get angry about something, to have an axe to grind. That murder happened in cold blood. It was a brutal murder. Just gave up. He gave up the ghost. And then a secret that you don't want revealed is a what in the closet? A skeleton in the closet. What's next? Correct each sentence. Which is the easier to learn? French, Italian, or German? If it were just French and Italian, it would be correct, but since there's three of them, we have to say the easiest. The two little girls greeted one another. If it were three little girls greeted one another, would be correct. But if it's only two little girls, they greeted each other. Neither Ziggy nor Anne was able to vote. He's a poor little fatherless orphan. All orphans are fatherless. He's a poor little orphan. We should have bought more fruit. It's never of. It's always going to be should have. Steve broke his one leg playing cricket. I think it's okay if we just said he broke his leg playing cricket. More idioms. To make a big deal out of nothing is to make a mountain out of a what? To make a mountain out of a molehill. To mind one's whats and whats. It's two letters. You must be very particular about your behavior and behave carefully. To mind one's P's and Q's. To smell a what? To get suspicious about something. To smell a rat. To not communicate with them because you're irritated with them or angry with them for some reason. To give them the cold shoulder. And then to tell everyone how marvelous you are, to blow one's own trumpet. More idioms and proverbs. Half a loaf is what? Half a loaf is better than no bread, or half a loaf is better than none, but I'm going to say no bread at all. What's good for the goose is good for who else? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. What applies to one applies to the other. Stolen fruit, what? Tastes sweetest. Just because it's not yours, it's more attractive. What should you not do over spilt milk? Don't cry over spilt milk. Don't get upset about something that's done. Such a classic one. You don't want too many people involved in something because too many cooks spoil the broth. This one's suggesting we're all different and what we like is different. One man's what is another man's poison. One man's meat is another man's poison. Don't put all your interests into the same thing. Don't put all your investments in the same thing. Don't put all your eggs into one basket. Spread them around. Cut off your what to spite your what. Cut off your nose to spite your face. Sometimes we get angry and we want to do something spiteful, but we're actually only spiting ourselves. Cut off your nose to spite your face. And this one's suggesting we all have our moment in the sun. Every dog has his day. We all get our turn to shine. What's next? Complete the similes. As good as gold. As light as a what? Feather. We've done all of these, I think. See, they've written church mouse as, or I wrote church mouse as 2 words. So let's assume that that's correct. 2 words for church mouse. As proud as a what? You tell me. As proud as a peacock. As quiet as a... Is it cat? As quiet as a cat. As slippery as a what? As an eel. As thick as, meaning they stick together. As thick as thieves. As white as a ghost. And as silent as the grave. Back to punctuation. This is punctuation used to show contraction, that we're joining 2 words. So instead of who is, we're just going to say whose. Cal doesn't know, or does not. It doesn't know what time dinner will be ready. That's the best idea you've had all day. And this one, don't feel the urge to put an apostrophe in yours, his and hers and yours and its, and in its too. We don't use an apostrophe for these, so just leave them alone. The apostrophe used to show possession. It's the gym belonging to the boys, so that apostrophe comes after the S. This is the club of the women, many women, but we put it before the S. This is the fragrance of the men, before the S. It's plural, but we ask who's the owner? The women are the owner. Who's the owner? The men. We assume this is one eagle. So here, belonging to one eagle before the S. The book's covers were lurid. Since it's many covers, we assume it's many books. Therefore, after the S. The artist's painting, it was one artist, so before the S. It's many noses, so it's many girls, so after the S. It's one hat, so it was one lady, therefore before the S. It's one world, so before the S, the world's best milkshakes. It was served, so it's one dog, so before the S. Plural, but who owns the toys? The children do, so before the S. Who owns the dresses? The ladies do, so after the S. And it's like his and hers and theirs, we leave it alone. Brackets, dashes or commas are used to indicate additional or parenthetical information. Fancy word. Parentheses is brackets, but parenthetical also means extra information. So we could use brackets. Charles Perky is an old friend, is in town today. The sun, and we could use brackets again, and we could just use commas, but this time I'm going to use dashes. The sun, I must be honest, is not generous. Ways of showing parentheses. Hyphens, they look just like dashes, are used to create compound words or to avoid a confusing succession of letters. That confusing succession of letters is re-elect, otherwise it looks like relect. This one's easy because it's just short-term memory. These are hyphens, not dashes, but they look the same. It is a semi-official document, and there were 33 students. And that's pretty much this tutorial. There's only one page of U words, having the agreement and consent of all. Unanimous. They voted her into the position unanimously. Excessively flattering or ingratiating. Oily. Unctuous. Oh, Mr. Copperfield, you look so beautiful today. Don't be unctuous. Present, appearing, or found everywhere, ubiquitous. Technology is ubiquitous nowadays. A quick little writing suggestion. Before you write your final draft, take a break so that you can return with fresh eyes, making it easier to spot errors and areas for improvement. Review and revise. Read through your draft carefully. Look for clarity, coherence, and logical flow. Ensure that your main ideas are clearly presented and that each paragraph transitions smoothly to the next. What are our writing topics this time? Should students be allowed to curate their own their own curriculum? Is it ethical to use animals for scientific research? A time when I helped someone in need? An ideal day? Or I'm sure I would choose this one. The flavor of my hometown. And how are you going to get that flavor in? What smells and tastes are associated with your hometown? Or you could choose this picture. Also might be suggesting a hometown somewhere. One more time, should you be able to make up your own curriculum? To curate your own curriculum? Is it ethical to use animals for scientific research? A time when I helped someone in need? An ideal day? The flavor of my hometown? Or the picture? As usual, we end with a quick little vocabulary quiz. Seemingly reasonable or believable? Plausible. That story is quite plausible. Unsafe, unstable, or risky. That's a very, what kind of a situation? It's precarious. Pure, clean, or untouched. It's so beautiful because it's untouched, it's pristine. Highly productive. More than one word could fit here, but I think I was thinking of prolific. Wise and careful in making decisions. Prudent. Constantly complaining with a Q. Querulous. And then representing the most perfect example of something, we did this in tutorial Q, quintessence, or quintessential. He was the quintessential diligent student. And that's pretty much our tutorial. I thank you for joining me again, especially if you're one of those who's been with me all the way since tutorial 8, and I really salute you. Only a couple more to go. The next one I see is looking at poetry again, vigorous verse. So I do hope I see you for that one again. Thank you again for joining me, and until I see you again, look after yourself and goodbye.